All right, I made this video specifically for contractors because I see a lot of mistakes happening online and I care as a business owner about your business. So I'm gonna show you some things of common mistakes that both small and large contractors do to themselves. And if you go through and implement this stuff, it will save you a ton of time and headache getting to the end result that you want. Now, let me show you some exact screenshots and comments from contractors within the Common Sense Contracting Facebook group. All right, so the first one that we're looking at is somebody posted their actual truck wrap and said, taking the next step to brand my wagon, please feel free to dig into it. Feedback welcome. The biggest mistake with this is what you're doing is you're essentially saying to people that are not your ideal client, hey, what are your thoughts on this? When in reality, the only thing that matters is what your actual prospects think, because other contractors are not gonna hire you. You have no idea if they've actually built the business that you want to also build, or if they're just some, sideline quarterback that's telling you what's right and what's wrong, and they really have no idea what they're talking about. Easiest thing here to do is if you're this contractor where you're trying to get some feedback on your van, post it on your Facebook page, your business Facebook page, and ask for feedback. Do it with prospects and do it with paid customers because they already trust you and they know what you're all about. So they'll be able to give you pretty good feedback on if this would be effective for them or not. Next one. This one, the comment says, yep, just sold a project for $34K. The other bid was $14K. So I said, what was the deciding factor? They responded with, I've learned and trained extensively for Shinfu, so I know how to ask the right questions. He said, I listened to their needs, many other things. Sadly, what made it super easy was that they couldn't get the other guy to communicate, meaning we think that our value to homeowners, we being contractors, is to help them save money. When in reality, that's not actually what they want, nor is it what they value. Some people will value that, but that's not who we want to go after anyway. The big takeaway here is people, homeowners, want to feel supported during this process. For a lot of these people, this is a good chunk of change, tens of thousands of dollars. And if they do not feel like the contractor is supporting them or communicating with them the way that they want to be communicated with, then it doesn't matter how cheap the price is, they're not going to go with the low-end person. So if you're a contractor and you want to go after those higher-end people and you want to charge over double what others are charging, communication is going to be key in this scenario. The next one that I'm going to bring up is something that you, if you're watching this, have probably done yourself without even realizing it, right? So this person is trying to update their brand, their images, all that stuff, which is amazing because at the end of the day, if you're not growing, you're slowly falling back until eventually you're just gone. All right, so he's trying to update this, but here is where the issue lies, is he said, we're honest, big on customer service, and a premium service. We're not low priced or simply an installation company. Everybody else says that. Like literally, nobody says we're dishonest. Nobody says we suck at customer service. Nobody says we are a low-end service, right? So what he's trying to do is he's trying to build a whole logo and a whole new brand off of the same stuff that everybody says. And when you're trying to build a whole brand off the same stuff, then you look like everybody else and you then become a commodity. A commodity is essentially if somebody looks at your service and looks at somebody else's service and says, well, they're about the same thing, so I might as well go with the cheaper one. That's a commodity, and that is what he is about to put himself into because he didn't do this one thing, and that is he did not take the time to actually figure out the specifics around what this looks like. As I'm reading this out to you, if you're thinking, damn, this is me, here's what I want you to do. I want you to actually pause the video, get out a piece of paper and a pen, and I want you to take 8 minutes. That's it, 8 minutes. And I want you to write down, let's just take the customer service one. I want you to write down specifically all the things that you do that provide a good customer service experience for your homeowners. 8 minutes. You're gonna write until the timer stops. And you'll probably realize that at first you're gonna do vague stuff such as we really focus on giving them a good experience. And by the end of it, at the end of 8 minutes, because you're gonna have to really dive deep into this stuff, you're gonna come up with really good actionable things that when you think about it, you're gonna go, damn, we do all this great stuff. This is how we make the customer service experience incredible. And then while you're at it, hit the like button on this video if and only if you're getting value out of it, because what it's going to do is it's going to help other contractors that are also trying to up-level their business, because when you have a whole bunch of contractors doing the right thing, it elevates the whole community and industry as a whole, making your life easier. So the next one's going to be a little bit of a different one. So somebody was trying to charge for consultations and they were not having success at it. Somebody else stepped in and said, until you reach a certain life cycle, quote unquote, in your business and brand, charging will hurt you more than you benefit. You have to create the image first. Now, on paper, that sounds like it's totally right? Because you have to build the brand before you can really command high prices, right? That's actually not right. Here's why. If you're able to explain why you need to get paid for a consultation and make it, in their eyes, beneficial to them, because if you just say, well, I need to get paid for my time, that's not going to fly, because that comes from a place of entitlement. People are not afraid of spending money. They are afraid of getting ripped off or scammed. But if you tell them, hey, look, I get called out all the time, and the only way that I'm able to actually fit in enough of these estimates is to actually charge for it. But what that also does is I'm able to now stay out there to make sure that I hear your entire vision and we get on the exact same page. Because now it's a benefit to them to actually pay you. That's how you get it done. All right, next one is saying essentially no job too small or too big. Here's the issue with it is just because you can physically do something that's not too small or too big doesn't necessarily mean that that's the right angle to take. Because what ends up happening is you get hired for stuff that actually is too small. Or if it's something that's too small or too big, you'll probably get a lot of calls for mounting a TV. So you end up going into that bucket because somebody who wants a job that is bigger probably is not going to want somebody who can do it all. They really want a specialist. The next one is, it's Matt. He's a single guy in a truck and he's trying to figure out how to grow past just a one guy thing. And here's what it really comes down to is Matt should take a second, step back and figure out and just kind of write out a couple processes of things that he does. And maybe it's just the first thing he does is he hires a helper, right? What are those tasks that throughout the day the helper could do, right? Whether it's, actually helping with painting or it's getting material or whatever it is. All right, and here's the last issue that I'm going to tackle. And this is one that I see over and over and over again. And this is actually a very, very big one. Photos. All right, a lot of contractors do really high-end work for really high-end people, and the photos they take are really low-end. I'll give you an example. This photo right here, this is actually my parents' house growing up. This is an iPhone photo. Let me flip it around. This is a professionally shot photo. What we did was we originally, and this is back when I was helping my dad's company out, we originally went to a client and showed them the first photo and said, hey, we can install lights like this in your home. And they came back and I think the person said, well, I've got a budget of anywhere between 5 and 13. Then when we got the professionally shot photos done, we went back and showed those photos and they ended up at a $16,000 project, because what it did was these photos, nice photos, can really help sell the emotion and can really help sell the sizzle of the whole project. And it will allow clients to see that your work is higher end, not simply just done off an iPhone. So if you like stuff like this, where it's helpful tips that are pretty easy to implement, but also are going to make an amazingly big difference, come join us over in our Common Sense Contracting Facebook group. The biggest thing that you're going to get out of it, in my opinion, is that you're probably wanting to get somewhere in the business, and there's going to be a lot of people that are in this Facebook group that have already done that, and you're going to be able to see exactly how they got there. So will you get there eventually? Probably. But if you join this group, you will get there and shrink the amount of time it's going to take from this down to this, and you're on your way. I'll put the link down below. I'll see you in the Facebook group.